Welcome to Battlefield Insights. From the screaming rockets of the Nebelwerfer to the crushing weight of the King Tiger, the Wehrmacht's war machine was terrifyingly diverse. In this episode, we are breaking down every major vehicle Germany deployed in World War II. We begin with the backbone of the Blitzkrieg, the Panzers. The Panzer I was meant for training, yet this tiny tank saw combat in Poland. With paper-thin armor and 2 machine guns, it survived only on speed. The Panzer II was a stopgap, armed with a 20mm autocannon effective against soft targets, and its chassis later served as a base for mobile guns. After annexing Czechoslovakia, the Germans seized the Panzer 35T, noted for its quality build and pneumatic transmission. Its cousin, the Czech-designed Panzer 38T, was reliable and packed a 37mm punch, later evolving into the Hetzer destroyer. Germany's dedicated tank fighter was the Panzer III, which introduced a 3-man turret for superior tactical efficiency. The true workhorse was the Panzer IV, the only tank produced throughout the entire war. It was constantly up-armored to fight on every front. Then came the Cats. The Panther was built to counter the Soviet T-34, combining sloped armor with a high-velocity 75mm gun. Despite early breakdowns, it remains one of the war's best medium tanks. The Tiger I became a legend of heavy armor. Its thick, boxy protection and lethal 88mm gun allowed it to dominate battles from extreme range. Its successor, the King Tiger, was a 70-ton beast, combining heavy plating with sloped angles. It was nearly invincible from the front but destroyed bridges with its sheer weight. Next, we look at tank destroyers and assault guns. By removing the turret from a Panzer III, they created the Stu G3. Low profile and deadly, it became Germany's most produced armored vehicle. The Hetzer was small, angular, and cost-effective. Built on the Czech chassis, its remote machine gun and slopes made it a nasty ambush predator. Known as Guderian's Duck, the Jagdpanther IV was nose-heavy but carried a long 75mm gun to snipe enemy armor. Desperate for firepower, engineers built the Marder series. The Marder II mounted heavy guns on obsolete Panzer II hulls, while the Marder III used the Czech chassis. Both were open-top death traps that packed a serious punch. The Gnasher, or Rhinoceros, was a glass cannon. It mounted a long 88mm gun on a light chassis, killing tanks from miles away with zero armor protection. The Jagdpanther is often cited as the war's best destroyer. It married the Panther's mobility with the 88mm gun for a perfect balance of speed and power. The Ferdinand was a failed experiment. Built on rejected Porsche hulls, this sluggish bunker buster lacked machine guns, leaving it vulnerable to infantry. The heaviest of all was the Jagdtiger. Carrying a massive 128mm cannon, it could kill anything, but usually broke down before reaching the fight. Now for artillery and anti-aircraft. The Sturmpanzer I Bison was a clumsy attempt to mount a heavy gun on a tiny tank chassis. The Wespe, or Wasp, was far better, turning the Panzer II into a mobile light artillery piece. The Hummel, or Bumblebee, mounted a heavy howitzer on a hybrid chassis to deliver devastating indirect fire. The Grill gave infantry direct fire support by mounting a gun on the Czech 38T. For urban warfare, the Sturmpanzer IV Brummbär used a massive short-barreled gun to level buildings. But the true monster was the Sturmtiger. It fired a rocket-propelled depth charge capable of demolishing entire city blocks. To fight aircraft, they built the Wirbelwind. Its quad 20mm guns created a wall of lead against planes and infantry. The Ostwind improved this with a single 37mm cannon for better range. An earlier attempt, the Flak Panzer 38T, left the crew dangerously exposed to strafing runs. Moving to half-tracks and prime movers, the SD KFZ 251 Hanomag was the iconic battle taxi, allowing infantry to keep pace with panzers. Its smaller cousin, the SD-KFZ 250, served as an agile scout vehicle. Towing guns required muscle. The SD-KFZ 7 hauled the famous 88mm flak gun, while the massive SD-KFZ 9 FAMO recovered damaged Tigers from the mud. Lighter guns were pulled by the SD-KFZ 10, while the SD-KFZ 11 towed field howitzers. The strangest of all was the Kettenkrad, a motorcycle tank hybrid. It could navigate mud that stopped trucks cold. To survive the Russian winter, engineers built the Opel Maltier or Mule. For reconnaissance, the SD-KFZ-222 was the eyes of the army. Fast and angled, this four-wheeled car scouted ahead. The eight-wheeled SD-KFZ-231 could drive backward instantly thanks to a rear driver position. The best scout was the SD-KFZ-234 Puma, armed with a 50mm gun to outfight Allied recon. Commanders coordinated battles from the SD-KFZ-263, a mobile radio hub with a massive frame antenna. Light transport included the VW Schwimmwagen. This bathtub-shaped car had a propeller, making it the most produced amphibious vehicle in history. The Hork 108 served as a heavy off-road personnel carrier, while officers favored the rugged Steyr 1500A. The Mercedes-Benz G4 was a six-wheeled luxury symbol used mostly for parades and propaganda. For dispatch riders, the BMW R75 motorcycle featured a driven sidecar wheel for superior traction. Logistics relied on the legendary Opel Blitz. Recognizable by its lightning logo, this truck carried everything the army needed. The Krupp-Protz Boxer had a sloped hood and towed light guns. For the Eastern Front, the RSO tractor traded speed for the ability to drag guns through the deepest mud. The heavy Henschel 33 hauled engineering loads, while the complex Einheitsdiesel offered superior off-road grip. Finally, the specialized weapons. The Panzerwerfer 42 mounted a screaming rocket launcher on a half-track for saturation bombing. The Karlgert was a siege mortar so huge it fired a 2-ton shell to crack fortresses like Sevastopol. And the tiny Goliath-tracked mine was a remote-controlled bomb. Driven under tanks, this Beetle was a terrifying, if unreliable, weapon of destruction. This vast array of steel defined the conflict in Europe. If you enjoyed this heavy metal history, smash like and subscribe to Battlefield Insights.